this session, I would like to talk about OLAP functions, and not only that, model functions. So as part of OLAP functions are covering all the aggregate functions whatever we have seen, and it is also covering analytic functions like rank, dense rank, first value, last value, lead and lag. Apart from that, they are also covering more three things. They are roll-up, cube, and grouping sets. Apart from that, we are also having model functions. What is OLAP all about? OLAP is mainly meant for online analytic processing. It is the full form of it, and here it is meant for accessing the data which is not only in two-dimensional representation, it is in multi-dimensional way. OLAP allow users to analyze the database information from multiple database systems at one time. OLAP data is multi-dimensional. That is, information can be compared in many different ways. For example, take Reliance Mart or Reliance Fresh. So what they wanted is, as a Reliance Fresh store owner, they wanted to know what are the sales from June to December of 2016. Apart from that, they also wanted to compare the total sales of the Reliance store at one branch with the total sales of Reliance branch at another location right from June to December. See, you are not only going to consider only one dimension, but rather you are required to consider different dimensions depending upon your requirement. So OLAP functions provide the capability to perform analytic functions on data such as computing moving averages, ranks, and cumulative values like cumulative sum, cumulative standard deviation, and not only that, averages, etc. And you can also rank them by using rank function, dense rank, and many more. We have also seen them in the analytic functions. But as part of this today's session, we would like to discuss the remaining functions that are particularly belonging to OLAP. So here you can include an OLAP function in a select list or on the order by class of a select statement. OLAP functions can be used in the select list, in the expressions, as arguments for scalar functions. Even you can use them in the when class. You can use them in the final order by class and even in the subqueries. You cannot use OLAP functions in the rank function, dense rank function, etc. What are the various kinds of OLAP functions we are yet to cover? They are grouping sets, roll-up, and cube. So what are grouping sets? Out of the grouping sets operator, sorry, grouping sets operator is similar to simple group by class. Multiple columns passed as arguments to grouping sets operator are treated as a single set. Here, the syntax for grouping sets is like this. Grouping sets followed by column 1, column 2. Here, I wanted to group the data based upon department number and job. So, I wanted to know the job, department number, not only that, sum of salary from the employee table. How am I doing it? Simply, I am writing select sum of salary, job, department number from EMP, group by, and you wanted to group them. Therefore, you are using grouping sets, comma, department number and job. Then, what is the output you are getting? I'll show you the same thing using this. See here, this is the same thing I wanted to execute. Let me go for select sum of salary, comma, job and DPT number from employee, group by, DPT number, comma, job. So let me show you the output and compare it. This is the output I am getting. What is the output I am getting? Sum of salary for manager with department number 20. Sum of salary for all the clerks of department number 20. Sum of salary for all salesmen in department number 30, clerks in 30, president in 10, manager in 30, clerk in 10, and then analyst in 20, manager in. See, let me display even the count. How many are there? See, there is only one manager in department number 20. There are two clerks whose total salary is coming out as sum of salary is 1900. There are four salesmen in department number 30 and their total salary is this one. And there is only one clerk in department number 30. This is how you can interpret this data. Now what I wanted is, I wanted to do the same thing by grouping them into sets. So apart from giving it as department number comma job, what is that I am doing? I am simply writing it as grouping sets of department number comma job. When I run this query, I would be getting the output like this. See here, for all the clerks, it is not only taking only a department into consideration, it is it is creating two groups of output. One group is exclusively for the total salary for each and every individual job type. And the next thing, it is giving you the total salary for each and every department. That's what you are able to see. This is the total salary for clerk type of a job. This is the sum of salary for salesmen irrespective of the department. It is the sum of salary for presidents irrespective of the department. It is the sum of salary for managers irrespective of the department, and so on and so forth. Coming to here, it is the total salary of department number 30 employees irrespective of their job type, and it is the same case with 20 and 10. So this is how grouping sets is working. Coming to the next thing, roll up. What is the functionality of rollup? Rollup enables select statement mainly to calculate subtotals for all the dimensions given. Not only that, rollup is also used for finding out the grand total for the dimensions. So the number of groupings generated by rollup is the same as the number of columns in the rollup list plus one grand total grouping. How many groupings are you going to get? As many columns you have used in the rollup list, those many subtotals will come. Apart from that, subtotal groupings will come. Apart from that, a grand total grouping will come plus one more. And not only that, the number of rows in grouping is determined by the number of unique combination of values in the columns of a grouping. See, look at it here. Select department number, job and sum of salary from employee. Here, instead of using grouping set, I am using roll up department number, job. So how do I get the output? See here, it is like this. Because I am rolling up, I am using roll up. First what it does is, it will do the roll up right from job, from the right hand side. First it will apply the roll up upon job, then upon department number. So in as far as job is concerned, there are different jobs like clerk, manager, president, analyst and salesman. Now, for the different categories of jobs, department number is considered. So here in department number 10, we are only having three types of jobs. What are they? Clerk, manager and president and their respective sum of salaries. At the end here, you are getting the, sorry, you are getting the total salary, subtotal for the department number. The department number 10's subtotal total salary for all their jobs, it is 8,750. Similarly for department number 20, you are getting the total salary as 10,875. Here in the job column you are getting it as null because all the jobs are considered. Coming to 30, again in 30 department the total salary is coming out as this, and here at the bottom you are getting grand total, meaning 9,400 plus 10,875 plus 8,750, coming around 29,025. So here it is irrespective of the departments and jobs. This is how rollup will work. So let us go ahead with another example. I wanted to see the name, location and department number from DEPT group by rollup, name and location. So here also it is doing the rollup right from right hand side, department number, then location, then sales. Okay, and apart from that, you can also go ahead with partial rollup. Let me show you the same thing. Here, I wanted to go with a rollup of department number, name, location. This is the same thing you are getting. Apart from this, what you can do is, you wanted to go with Partial roll-up. What do you mean by partial roll-up? See, when you go for roll-up, in the earlier case, you got the subtotals of each individual department. Apart from that, grand total. So, partial roll-up will generate only subtotals, but not grand total. So, let me show you the same thing. See here, when you observe this, here you are able to see department number 10. For department number 10, grand total is coming out as 8,750. It is the same thing we have seen in the earlier example also. Here for department number 20, it is 10,875. For department number 30, it is 9,400. Are you getting the total grand total for all the departments? No, never. In the earlier case, you got the grand total for all the departments. See here, this is the grand total. It is coming only with roll up, but not for partial roll up. How are you giving partial roll up? See here, you are giving group by department number, comma, roll up upon job. See, let me write the same thing. Okay, see here, let me write it as job, comma, department number. How is it going to do? Are we getting it? Yes. So here, the total salary for clerks it is giving. There are clerks in all the three departments. The total salary for clerk job is this much, and there is no department number. Department numbers for all the department numbers, especially you are looking at job. You are grouping by job and then you are counting the total salary. And similarly, this is the total salary for analyst. This is the sum of salary for managers. This is the sum of salary for salesman, and this is the sum of salary for president. This is how partial uh, roll-up is working. Apart from partial roll-up, we are also having cube. What is the role of a cube? It generates all possible combinations of subtotals, including grand total. It creates a crosstab report similar to Excel spreadsheets. So cubes creates even more subtotals than roll-up. Now let me show you the same thing here. See here, in the earlier case, we got a subtotal for the department number. In the first case, in a partial roll-up, whatever the grouping column you have mentioned, upon that the total subtotals are coming out along with the grand total. But here, when you go for a cube, it is generating a subtotal for all the jobs. This is generating subtotal for individual job like clerk, analyst, manager, salesman and president. Not only that, it is also generating subtotal for individual department like department number 10, 20 and 30. So here in the earlier case, we got the subtotal only for department or only for job. But whereas here, you are getting the subtotal for a job as well as a department. For both of them, it is giving. That's what I can say, that it is generating the output. A crosstab report similar to Excel spreadsheet. In the Excel spreadsheet, you can see x-axis and y-axis. The subtotals you can see from the intersection at x and y are only x or only y. It is the same thing. So let us execute the same thing here in this. See here, I wanted to do the same query using cube. I am getting the subtotals as I told. Apart from this, I can also generate the count. How am I generating? Look at it here. See here, clerk with sum of salary this much. How many clerks are there? Only 10. Managers, only one manager. In department number 10, this much. In department number 20, you have 2 clerks, their total salary. This is how cube is working. Apart from that, we are also having one more functionality. What is that? We are having model functions. What is a model function? Model function can be used only in model class of the select statement. What are model functions? Using model class, we can build one or more matrices with a variable number of dimensions. The model uses a subset of available columns of the table specified in the from class. It contains at least one dimension, at least one measure, and optionally one or more partitions. I'll discuss about them in detail. A model is similar to a spreadsheet file containing separate worksheets for each calculated value measure. Worksheet has x and y axis, and you can imagine having your worksheet split up, up in several identical areas, each for a different country or a department partition. Now, let us see a simple thing. See here, I wanted to know the employee number, name, department number from employee where department number is equal to 10. There are 3 employees and their respective details in department number 10. What is that I wanted is, I wanted to generate a new table, though you are considering. See, what is the output when you give select star from EMP? Select star from employee. When you give this, you are getting total 14 rows with 8 columns. This is the output you are generating. Now what you wanted is, you don't want to have a look at it, but instead what you wanted is, you wanted to display the employee number, you wanted to display the name of the employee, salary of the employee, and when you give a 10% increment, what is the new salary and what is the system today's date. You wanted to create a table with these set of columns, not the original one. Then what you will do is, you will simply give select star from employee, and now you are modeling it. So you are modeling the output by using dimension by. This dimension by will only take unique column. So dimension by employee number, measures. Here, measures is a class or a function which is taking which columns you wanted to have in your resultant matrix. I wanted to display name of the employee, salary, original salary of the employee, and the salary once it is incremented by 10%. That's what you are computing, salary plus into 1.1. It is exactly same as salary plus salary into 0.01. And you are renaming it as new salary, and not only that, today's system date, and you are renaming it as today. So when you run it, see, these are the things. Employee number is 7839, name is King, salary is 5000, and new salary when you increment by 10%. So 10% on 5000 is 500. Total new salary is 5000 plus 500 is 5500, and today's date is 16/12/2016. Similarly, it is the case with all other things. This is how you are creating a new matrix out of the thing. And coming to rules, you can form the rules in a different way. It is not mandatory to use it, but if you want, you can have it. And coming to the next one, not only that, here I wanted to display the columns such as name of the employee, salary of the employee, commission received by the employee, and 0 as income. Initially, income is defined with 0. I am not putting anything. I am creating a new column. See, name, salary and commission. These are the 3 columns I am taking from employee table. But income column I am creating on my own, and I am initializing it with 0. How am I doing that? I am doing this way. Select star from employee, model, dimension by employee number, measures, name, salary, commission, and 0. I am storing 0 in income by default. So when I run this query, what is going to happen? It will give me the output as, see, there are 14 rows created with income as 0. Now I can even compute the value for this income. What is income actually? Income is nothing but salary plus commission. So I wanted to define the same thing. See, basically I wanted to compute the commission. We know that anything plus null is equal to null always. So first let me take any of the employee. The employee I am trying to consider is 7521 word. His salary is 1250 and the commission is 500. Total it should come out as 1750 in the income column. How do I mention? I am mentioning it as a rule. A rule is created because this is a computational statement you wanted to invoke whenever a query is generating a new matrix. So how am I defining it? Create compute income for the employee number given as a search key 7521 is equal to salary of 7521 plus commission of 7521. So when I do this, I'm sorry, when I do this, I am able to execute and get the output. See, all the remaining rows are having the commission 0, but only 7521 is having the commission as 750 because it is the sum of 1250 plus 500. So coming to the next thing, see, can I compute the similar thing for all the rest of the employees? How many times do I need to give? Income of 7788 is equal to salary plus something. It is impossible. Therefore, what is that we are having is we are having a function in model function such as CV. CV stands for CV function is representing a current value, where CV function is representing current value of the record. Of the current record. Okay, so how do I get it? I am changing the rule a little more bit. How am I changing? Select star from employee model dimension by employee number. Which dimension you are considering? Measures name, salary, commission, 0, income. Now this income I wanted to redefine. How am I redefining? Income of any in the sense any dimension for all the dimensions. Any dimension. Which dimension you are concentrating? You are concentrating upon income for each and every row. So salary of CV, salary of the current record is taken. What is the salary of current record? Here in this case, salary of current record is 3000. What is the salary commission of current record? None. So what is the output you are going to get? Let me run the query. The output is coming out as null in the income. Why am I getting it as a null? Because commission 5000 plus null is equal to null, 2975 plus null equal to null, and so on. How do I remove null? See, there are NVL functions. NVL of commission of CV comma 0 you can use. Otherwise you have a one more representation, that is ignore NAV. Ignore NAV. See, here I am mentioning it. Select star from employee model, ignore NAV, dimension by employee number, measures name, salary, commission, 0, income, rules this one. So I have not changed anything other than putting an additional thing. See, here in this case, null value is replaced with 0. 5000 plus 0 is equal to 5000. 2975 plus null is equal to 9000 because I am ignoring null values. Apart from that, I can also compute the subtotals. How do I compute subtotals? By using salary of total I wanted to get subtotal. For the salary column, I wanted to get the subtotal. How am I getting it? Salary of total is equal to sum of salary for any row, for any dimension. Similarly, for commission column also, I wanted to get the total. So commission of total is equal to sum of commission any. For income also, I wanted to get. See, for timing, remove these two. I'm removing these two. I'm only putting this one. When I run this query, I should be in a position to get the total. See here, I am getting the total as a grand total column. This is an additional dimension I am getting on the x-axis, and here I am getting the total salary for all the employees, 29,025. Similarly, if you wanted to get the totals for rest of the numeric columns, you can give it as you wanted to get the total for commission, therefore you are giving it as commission of total is equal to sum of commission comma any. Similarly, for income, income of total is equal to sum of income any. So when you run the query, you are going to get it as Here I'll show you this. See here, you are getting salary total, commission total, and also the total income. This is how model functions will work. This is all about model functions. With this, total functions are completed. So we have seen what are OLAP functions. We have seen grouping sets, rollup, cube by cube function. Apart from that, model functions and how to use the model class along with CV function. Thank you very much.